What's going on, guys? It's Stribbers, and welcome to episode 43 of PGR2 Road to Platinum. So, we are 4 events away from completing the Ultimate Series and the entire of the Kudos World Series on Platinum. And we're going to be tackling 3 of these events today, which leaves the final event for the last episode. So in this episode, we've got speed camera and 2 street races to do. So this is the first episode where we've only got 3 events to do. And we're going to be using the Koenigsegg for all of these races today. So the first event is a speed camera, 112 miles an hour to do in Washington. So in order to get this in the Koenigsegg, you have to ignore the racing line around this corner and go slightly wider, as you see there, and then accelerate round the apex just to give you a better exit for the straight. So you see I got 1 mile an hour over the target, and I'm pretty sure that's only possible in the Koenigsegg unless you've got the TVR and possibly the Mercedes CLK. I'm not sure though, I haven't tried that to be fair, but I know the TVR can do it. So it's definitely best to use the Koenigsegg if you haven't got the TVR unlocked. And then we move on to the street race, the first of 2. So these 2 street races are a little bit different because we are against one of the bonus cars in each of these. So this has got the Mercedes CLK-GTR, and then the race after this has got the Porsche GT1. So it makes them a little bit more difficult. I think this one's probably harder, to be honest, because the CLK is a bit of a beast on small tracks. It grips like anything and it accelerates like hell at the lower to mid range of speed. So yeah, we managed to get into 2nd place at this point. So we've just got to try and drive our best around these corners. Koenigsegg isn't amazing at low speed cornering, but we've got to try our best to catch him up. As you see, we're not too far behind at this point. A little bit difficult to navigate that section in this big car. But we've dropped the cars behind us by quite some distance, so it's only going to be this car that's going to be trouble for us, the Mercedes in 1st place. So we're 0.7 seconds behind him, not really in that overtaking window at the moment, just chasing him down. As it's got fairly similar acceleration. The Koenigsegg is a little bit better until it obviously hits that 5th gear, and the Mercedes is a little bit better at getting to its top speed, but the top speed is very poor. But that doesn't come into play on this track. It's not got a long enough straight. So we're still 0.7 seconds behind. Trying to make up any time we can. Getting a little bit closer on here, taking that nice and smoothly. Coming up to this chicane section, which I really struggle with in this car. As you see, dropping back a little bit more there. Losing ground on that every time. I haven't quite figured out how to do that properly in this car yet. And going a little bit uneven, the car over those bumps, struggling to accelerate in a straight line, but we take that corner nicely. We're making some ground on him now, getting towards the point where we can think about an overtake, but then dropping off again at that point. Can't go full throttle through there, you have to ease off for that section. But coming around this corner, getting a really nice line there, hoping to be in the draft zone, which we just about are, so we are using that to our advantage to get right up behind him. Taking that corner a little bit too wide. Obviously the Mercedes has got very good brakes, and we do manage just to bully him out the way a little bit around that corner, going on the inside on lap 3. So we're in 1st place now, and there's the weak corner again coming into play, as he did get in my way there, so I nearly spun him out. Probably should have tried a bit harder to spin in there, would have made it a little bit easier for myself. But we drop back into 2nd again, but he makes a mistake on that on the last corner before the finish line. So we're back in 1st place on the 4th lap, and by the looks of it he did slow up quite a bit there. So we might have the upper hand for these last couple laps, or lap and a half. Coming round this swooping corner into the straight again. See, he's quite far behind now. It's probably a good second at least. Yeah, 1.1 seconds now. So we've just got to not do anything stupid, because we know how well that Mercedes handles on these small tracks. But the Koenigsegg's doing the business. Got that low in acceleration to really challenge that Mercedes, and then we go and do a big mistake, going too close to the barrier on the inside and then scraping that, which makes us hit the other barrier. So that's not the best corner in the world, but we still are in first place. He didn't manage to overtake us, and we've got 0.7 advantage on him at the moment, so we've got to keep that for the last lap. But anything from the standard cars other than the Koenigsegg is going to be extremely difficult to beat this Mercedes in. So I'd fully recommend the Koenigsegg, and for the next race we're about to do as well. So this episode is all about this car. Obviously I've got none of the bonus cars unlocked, so this is the best choice. I'm not taking that the best, and going on 2 wheels, which means we don't turn at all there. So he's right behind us for this chicane section, which we know I'm not very good at. And he comes right up behind us, pushing us forward, which makes it really difficult to turn. So I did get a little bit lucky there that I've got out of that okay. But we're coming around the last corner now, and I think we've just about got enough of a lead. Yes, we're fine there. Across the line. Pretty close that one though. Only takes a couple mistakes for the Mercedes to be right back behind you again. And definitely the most difficult race of the episode. I'd say that's harder than this second race that we're going to do. But we move on to the final race for this episode, which is 6 laps in Edinburgh. Again, picking the Koenigsegg. And the problem car in this one that we have to beat is the Porsche GT1. So we've got 6 cars in this one in Edinburgh at night. So as usual, we are using the Koenigsegg speed at the start to try and get the best advantage we can before the first corner. And the Zonda pushed the Enzo wide there, allowing us to slip into 3rd place behind the Zonda, and the GT1 is in front. And then luckily, the GT1 goes very wide, and so does the Zonda, so I'm able to slip in front there, which is very good. So it puts us in a great position to try and defend this lead for the entire race. And the Zonda's actually gone ahead of the GT1, which is even better for us, because we know the Zonda's not the quickest. So we should be able to pull away on the majority of this. But this circuit is actually very hard to drive. There's a lot of bumps, and when you're driving these high-speed cars, they do tend to float around the track a little bit. The back end of this Koenigsegg just goes sometimes on these bumps, and you end up just changing direction and accelerating into the wall or something. The first half of the track's fine, so this section's not too bad. Round here going tight, and then you've got that little alcove you can use if you're going a bit too wide. And this section's not too bad. Then there is a little bit of an annoying section here. It does start to bounce a little bit there, but that's not the worst section. Trying to get a good line through here to carry as much speed as you can. And again through here, but this is the worst section coming up here. Through here, then up on this bit, the car just bounces around quite a lot, and I took the wrong line completely there, and went too wide at that point. But we're still in the lead, and the Zonda is in 2nd place, and looking at it, I think the Enzo might be 3rd, and then the GT1 in 4th, because the GT1 only comes in white, so we're looking out for that white car. So we're on lap 3 out of 6 now, getting some nice kudos for this already, 1,800 at this point. And we're 2 seconds, or 2.4 seconds ahead of 2nd place, which I'm assuming is still the Zonda at this point. Again, for this section, trying to get the right angle, not going too quickly through there, so that is easy to crash into the barrier. And again, trying to find the right angle for the best speed around there. Braking nice and early for this corner, trying to get the best line I can through there. And that was quite a bit better that time. A little bit more under control. But that section's definitely the hardest for this track. And looking behind, the next car is miles behind there, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't the Zonda. That might be now the GT1, so it might start to catch us up again now. Because that car's quite quick as well. Not quite got the low end acceleration of the Mercedes, but it's probably got better mid to high end acceleration. Definitely got better high end acceleration with a higher top speed as well. But maybe better mid-range acceleration as well. Coming through this section again. Not doing that too well, but well enough. Because we have got that nice cushion at the moment. 4.3 seconds. And again, doing that corner a bit better that time. I think I learnt my lesson on that one. To brake nice and early and not brake on the bumpy sections. I think that is the GT one there, quite far in the distance. But I've only got 2 laps left to go now, with a 4-second lead, so hopefully that should be enough for us. Coming around this section again. Going a bit too narrow on that section. Losing concentration a bit, I think. As I said, I always do when I've got a lead. 4.7 seconds is the advantage we have now. So I'm pretty sure that's staying around the same. So we're not doing anything too bad. Again, this Koenigsegg just helps you out so much on these circuits. With its low end acceleration, it really is quite amazing for this sort of thing. And we are coming across the line for the final lap. See if we can do a nice clean lap without any mistakes this time. And we're still building up a nice amount of kudos. 3,500 is quite a lot for a street race. Then again, it is taking a long time, this one. Again, taking that a little bit too close, but still doing alright there. A little bit wide on that one. Still 4.5 seconds, so it literally is staying the same. No one's gaining on each other, and we're not losing any time either, so that's not too bad. Making a bit of a mistake through there, power sliding a little bit. But if we don't do anything stupid, we should be okay. Coming around there, okay, and then there's the stupid thing. We were all waiting for it. Last corner of the last lap, hitting the barrier, and there we can see the GT1 coming around the corner. But luckily it was far too late for anything to change. So that is the second to last event done, guys. We are now only 1 platinum medal away from the sought after TVR Speed 12. So we've got 171 platinum medals, 1 more down. Final street race to do in the next episode. 2 laps of the Nurburgring, so that is going to take quite a long time to do. Probably around 12 to 13 minutes, or maybe even slightly longer. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video, and if you're new, consider subscribing if you want to see more content, and I'll see you in the next episode.